How's it going, folks? So today I wanted to just talk about, first of all, the moon is beautiful. And if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go check it out because La Luna is beautiful and blessing us with much beauty. But today I was talking to a buddy and on my Snapchat about earthing or grounding, and it's basically a very simple concept. Just go find some grass with actual earth, and then take your shoes and socks off and go walk on it for a bit. And I know it sounds crazy, especially what time it is right now, but sometime in the next few days you should definitely go and do that, especially just go to a park or something, because seasonal affective depression is definitely a thing. And we're getting to the end of it though. The spring is coming. I don't know if you can feel it, but I definitely can. And it's getting sunnier, and these are all good things. And just remember that the things that we surround ourselves with and the things that we look at most of the time, especially our screens, I'm guilty of it as well, they increase anxiety, and our social media often increases our sense of isolation. Even though they say that we're the most connected generation ever, it seems more and more to me like that might not quite be the case. It might be a selling point to try and beat this dead horse until it stops spitting out money. I also watched a video the other day, or yesterday, about how addiction, they say that the guy talking about it is basically saying that we need to connect to our addicts. We're not supposed to punish them. We don't need to punish them and cut off the sources of communication and affection because they're addicted. That's the opposite. It's just going to drive them deeper into their addiction. And I think it's really important to reach out to people if you don't feel like you are being connected to enough. If you feel alone, if you feel isolated, it's going to be a lot harder to find your way back. And I feel like I also talked about how depression is the opposite, or expression is the opposite of depression, and maybe connection is also the opposite of depression. And the guy in the video at the end, to conclude it, he says, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, the opposite of addiction is connection. So maybe also the opposite of depression is connection. So, I don't know, I just encourage you to get out there and try and use your social media in a way that will connect you in a real way to other people. And maybe even use your social media to hash out a way to get a real face-to-face, eye-to-eye physical interaction going with people. I used my Facebook earlier today to connect one of my friends who's thinking about going vegan to other people who have gone vegan, because in her immediate sphere, in her immediate circle, there's not much support for her. And people reached out, and I thank you guys so much for reaching out. Whoever commented on my status and liked it to increase the visibility, I really appreciate that, and so does Kristen. I know it, and she's expressed it to me. And I feel like that's what this social media is for. It's to forge connection. It's not to make us self-consciously, anxiously check other people's lives to see how we're stacking up against them. And I don't know if that's what social media was meant to do, but I feel like that's a lot of what it is doing. And so I just encourage you guys to use your social media as a stepping stone. Express yourself through it in productive ways, but ultimately real life communication is where it's at. A virtual hug is not going to release the same type of oxytocin it's going to release when I give you a 30-second hug, because we haven't seen each other for a while and because I love you. It's just not. So these machines that we have in our hands, they're tools. We shouldn't let them become the primary mode of expression or the primary mode of connection, because I feel like that will just drive us in the opposite direction. But yeah, I hope this was a good video, and I hope y'all enjoyed it and took something from it. Peace. Love you all. Much love. Go look at the moon.